Stoic principles on how to make them miss you badly. What if you could find happiness without waiting for someone to text you back, like your post, or even think about you? Imagine a life where your peace doesn't hinge on who's paying attention to you, or who isn't. Sounds like a dream, right? But it's not some far-off fantasy. It's a way of living that's been around for centuries, and it's called Stoicism. Hey there, welcome to the Stoic Path, where we're diving deep into an ancient philosophy that's all about finding joy within yourself, no matter what chaos is swirling around you. Today, we're exploring how Stoicism can completely transform not just your life, but also your relationships, making you the kind of person others can't help but miss, not because you're chasing their attention, but because you're living your best, most authentic life. Picture this. You wake up feeling grounded, confident, and at peace, not because someone sent you a sweet message or double-tapped your latest photo, but because you've built an inner strength that doesn't rely on anyone else's approval. That's the Stoic way. This philosophy, born over 2,000 years ago by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, isn't just about surviving tough times, it's about thriving through them. It's about taking control of your thoughts, your actions, and your reactions, so you can find calm in the storm and joy in the everyday. And the best part? It's not some abstract theory, it's practical, actionable wisdom you can start using today. In this video, we're going to unpack how Stoicism can shift the way you approach love, connection, and even your own self-worth. We'll dive into why we often tie our happiness to others' attention and how Stoicism flips that on its head, teaching you to find fulfillment from within. You'll learn how focusing on your own growth, your passions, your values, your resilience, makes you magnetic in a way that's effortless and real. By the end, you'll see how living the Stoic way doesn't just make you happier. It makes you someone others naturally gravitate toward, not because you're trying to impress them, but because you're so comfortable in your own skin. So, stick with me, because this journey is going to flip the way you think about love, happiness, and even yourself. We're going to explore real, practical steps you can take to start living with more purpose and peace, drawing on the timeless wisdom of the Stoics. And if you find value in this, hit that subscribe button. It's a small gesture that helps us keep bringing you this kind of life-changing wisdom. Let's get started on this path to a stronger, more fulfilled you. Let's start with a question. Have you ever caught yourself checking your phone, hoping for a message from someone special? Or maybe you felt that pang when a friend didn't react to your story the way you'd hoped. We've all been there, craving that little hit of validation from someone else. It's like we're wired to believe that our happiness depends on what others think of us, especially when it comes to relationships. But here's the thing, what if that's all backward? What if the key to feeling truly fulfilled isn't about getting others to miss you or love you more, but about building a life so rich and grounded that you don't need their approval to feel whole? That's where Stoicism comes in. This isn't some dusty old philosophy locked away in history books, gathering cobwebs. It's a practical, timeless guide to living well, crafted by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus over 2,000 years ago. These weren't just philosophers pontificating from ivory towers, they were real people grappling with real struggles. Marcus Aurelius was an emperor navigating political chaos, Seneca faced exile and betrayal, and Epictetus started life as a slave before finding freedom. Yet, despite their challenges, political turmoil, personal loss, and everything in between, they discovered a way to stay calm, focused, and even joyful, no matter what life threw at them. Their secret? It's deceptively simple but incredibly powerful. Focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your reactions, and let go of everything else. You can't control whether someone texts you back, or how they feel about you, or what chaos the world might bring tomorrow. But you can control how you think about those things, how you choose to act, and how you respond when life doesn't go your way. That shift in perspective is a game changer. It's like finding a compass in the middle of a storm, giving you direction when everything else feels out of control. Stoicism isn't about shutting down your emotions or pretending you don't care. It's about taking charge of your inner world so you can navigate the outer world with clarity and strength. Imagine this. Instead of feeling crushed when someone doesn't respond the way you hoped, you pause, reflect, and choose a response that aligns with who you want to be. That's the Stoic way, living intentionally, not reactively. And when you start living like that, something amazing happens. You begin to build a life that's so full and meaningful that you don't need anyone else's validation to feel complete. You become your own source of strength, and that's when you start to shine in ways that others can't help but notice. Now, you might be wondering, how does Stoicism, this ancient philosophy, fit into the messy, unpredictable world of relationships? Let's face it, love and connection can feel like a wild ride, totally out of our control. We've all felt that tug, that deep desire to be noticed, to be missed, to know we matter to someone else. It's human nature to crave that sense of belonging. But here's where Stoicism flips the script in the most unexpected way. Instead of tying your worth to whether someone's thinking about you or blowing up your phone with texts, Stoicism teaches you to build an inner strength that makes you magnetic, not because you're chasing attention, but because you're so at peace with who you are. It's like this: when you stop scrambling for validation, you start living in a way that naturally pulls people toward you, like moths to a flame. And that's what this video is all about: how to become someone others can't help but miss, not by playing mind games or obsessing over their every move, but by embracing a stoic way of life that leaves you unshakably content. Let's break it down. One of the biggest traps we fall into is believing that our happiness hinges on external things, like a partner's sweet words, a friend's enthusiastic approval, or even a stranger's likes on our latest post. We've all done it. We measure our worth by how others react to us. When they shower us with attention, we're on top of the world. But when they don't, ouch, it stings. It's like we're handing over the keys to our emotional well-being to someone else, letting them decide how we feel. Stoicism steps in here and says, "Whoa, hold on. You're giving away your power." Instead of letting others steer your emotions, Stoicism invites you to take a step back and focus on what's actually in your control. You can't force someone to love you, miss you, or even text you back. You can't control their feelings, their choices, or their actions. But you can control how you think about it all, how you choose to act, and how you respond when life doesn't go according to plan. Think about what that means for relationships. When you stop pinning your happiness on someone else's behavior, you free yourself to love and connect in a healthier, more authentic way. You're not clinging to someone out of fear or neediness. You're choosing to share your life with them because it feels right, not because you need them to feel whole. That shift changes everything. Stoicism isn't about shutting down your heart or becoming some aloof, untouchable figure. It's about building a core of strength that lets you love deeply without losing yourself. And here's the kicker: that kind of confidence, that quiet self-assurance, is incredibly attractive. When you're comfortable in your own skin, living a life that's true to your values, people notice. They're drawn to you, not because you're trying to impress them, but because you're living with purpose and peace. Think about it like this. Imagine you're strapped into a roller coaster of emotions, soaring high one minute because someone sent you a sweet message, then plummeting the next because they didn't call you back or like your latest post. It's thrilling for a moment, but let's be real, it's exhausting, isn't it? That constant up and down, always waiting for someone else to decide how you feel, can leave you drained. Stoicism steps in with a way to step off that wild ride for good. But don't get it twisted. This isn't about shutting down your feelings or turning into some cold, detached robot who doesn't care. Far from it. Stoicism is about building a kind of emotional resilience that lets you feel deeply, experience the full spectrum of human emotions, without letting those feelings take the driver's seat and run your life. The Stoics, those wise thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, believed that true contentment doesn't come from chasing external approval or waiting for someone to validate your worth. Instead, it comes from within, from cultivating inner qualities like wisdom, courage, and self-discipline. These aren't just fancy words, they're like muscles you can strengthen over time. When you focus on growing these traits, something incredible happens. You start to find joy in your own progress, in the journey of becoming a better version of yourself. You're no longer sitting by the phone, hoping someone else will make you feel good enough. Instead, you're finding pride in the steps you're taking, the challenges you're overcoming, and the person you're becoming. This shift is powerful because it puts you back in control. Instead of letting every text, call, or lack thereof dictate your mood, you start to build a steady inner foundation. It's like constructing a house that can weather any storm. Life can throw rain, wind, or chaos your way, but you remain grounded. That's what emotional resilience is all about. Feeling the rain but not letting it sweep you away. And the beauty of this approach: it doesn't just make you happier, it makes you stronger, more capable of handling whatever comes next, whether it's a tough day, a heartbreak, or just the everyday ups and downs of relationships. By focusing on your own growth, you create a source of joy that's yours alone, independent of anyone else's actions or opinions. So, how does this Stoic approach make you more missable? Here's the ironic twist that flips everything you thought you knew. When you stop chasing attention and start pouring energy into yourself, you become undeniably attractive. It's not about scheming or trying to get noticed. It's about becoming so vibrant and grounded that people can't help but be drawn to you. Think about someone who's confident, passionate about what they do, and genuinely at peace with who they are. Picture a person who's always learning something new. Maybe they're teaching themselves guitar, diving deep into a favorite book, or mastering a new recipe just for the joy of it. They're living with purpose, chasing their own goals, not someone else's approval. That person doesn't need to beg for attention or play games to be noticed. They naturally stand out, like a bright light in a dim room. This is the magic of focusing on your own growth. When you invest in yourself, your skills, your passions, your inner strength, you become a beacon of self-sufficiency. And let me tell you, that's magnetic. People are naturally pulled toward those who radiate confidence and authenticity, not because they're trying to impress, but because they're so comfortable in their own skin. It's like they're living life so fully, so unapologetically, that you can't help but want to be around them. By embracing Stoicism and building a life that's rich with meaning, you become the kind of person who's hard to forget, not because you're manipulating someone into missing you, but because your presence leaves a mark. This isn't about putting on a show or crafting some perfect image to make others jealous. It's deeper than that. It's about becoming someone who's genuinely fulfilled, who finds joy in their own journey. When you're living like that, you don't need external validation to feel complete. You're already whole. And that wholeness, it's what makes you unforgettable. People notice when you're not desperately seeking their approval, when you're too busy thriving to worry about what they think. That's the Stoic paradox. By letting go of the need to be missed, you become the person others can't stop thinking about, simply because you're living so fully, so authentically, that your energy is impossible to ignore. Let's get practical for a moment. How do you actually start living this Stoic way and make it part of your everyday life? The first step is a big one, but it's simple. Shift your focus from seeking external validation to nurturing your own internal growth. Stop spending all that mental energy wondering if someone's thinking about you, replaying their last message, or stressing over why they haven't responded. Instead, take that energy and channel it into something that truly lights you up, something that makes your heart sing. Maybe it's picking up a new skill, like learning to paint vibrant landscapes or diving into coding to build your first app. Perhaps it's curling up with a book that challenges the way you see the world, sparking new ideas and perspectives. Or maybe it's starting a fitness routine, running, yoga, lifting weights, that makes you feel strong, capable, and alive. The point is to invest in yourself, to create a life that feels so rich, so meaningful to you, that it fills you up from the inside out. When you do this, something incredible happens. You don't just become happier. You become more interesting, more engaging, more authentically you. Think about it. Someone who's passionate about their hobbies, who's always learning and growing, naturally stands out. They're not trying to impress anyone. They're just living fully, and that's what makes people sit up and take notice. It's like you're building a fire within yourself, one that burns bright because it's fueled by your own curiosity, your own drive, not someone else's approval. Whether you're mastering a new recipe, exploring a creative outlet like writing poetry, or even taking time to meditate and understand your own thoughts better, these acts of self-investment make your life fuller. And that fullness, it's magnetic. People are drawn to those who are so absorbed in their own journey that they don't need to chase attention. They simply attract it by being their best, most vibrant selves. Start small, pick one thing that excites you, and watch how it transforms not just your day, but the way you show up in the world. Another cornerstone of Stoic wisdom is learning to let go of what you can't control, and let me tell you, this is a game changer, especially when it comes to relationships. Think about how often we try to nudge someone into feeling a certain way about us, whether it's hoping they'll fall for you, miss you, or just text you back already. No matter how much you want it, you can't force someone's emotions or make them act the way you wish. It's like trying to control the weather. Good luck convincing a storm to clear up because you planned a picnic. It's a losing battle that leaves you frustrated, drained, and stuck. Stoicism steps in with a powerful alternative. Stop wrestling with the uncontrollable and focus instead on what's actually in your hands. Your own choices, your own actions, your own mindset. In relationships, this means letting go of the need to manage how others feel or behave. You can't make someone love you, appreciate you, or even notice you the way you hope. But here's where your real power lies. You can choose to be kind, even when it's hard. You can choose to be honest, to communicate with clarity and respect. You can choose to show up as your best self, bringing your values and integrity to every interaction. And when things don't go as planned, when someone lets you down, ghosts you, or a relationship takes an unexpected turn, you can choose how to respond. Will you spiral into anger or self-doubt, or will you take a deep breath and decide to move forward with grace? That's the Stoic way, and it's where you reclaim your strength. This approach doesn't just save you from frustration, it transforms how you connect with others. When you focus on what you can control, you stop wasting energy on things that are out of reach, like someone else's feelings or decisions. Instead, you pour that energy into being the kind of person you're proud of, someone who's compassionate, authentic, and resilient. That shift creates a ripple effect. People notice when you're steady, when you're not thrown off balance by every little slight or disappointment. By letting go of what you can't control, you free yourself to live more fully in the moment, to build relationships that are rooted in mutual respect rather than desperation or manipulation. That's where your true power lies, and it's what makes you not just stronger, but someone others naturally admire and remember. Let me share a quick story to bring this Stoic idea to life. I once knew someone who was completely consumed with getting their ex to miss them after a tough breakup. They were constantly strategizing, posting perfectly curated photos online to seem carefree, dropping subtle hints in group chats, even orchestrating accidental run-ins at their ex's favorite coffee shop. But all that effort, it was like running on a hamster wheel. They were left feeling drained, anxious, and no closer to the connection they craved. Then, one day, they stumbled across Stoicism, and something clicked. They decided to try a new approach. Instead of obsessing over their ex, they turned their focus inward. They started running every morning, not to show off, but because it made them feel alive. They picked up journaling to untangle their emotions, pouring their thoughts onto the page with honesty. They even began volunteering at a local community center, finding purpose in helping others. Over time, they transformed. They weren't just happier, they were practically glowing with a quiet, confident energy. And here's the wild part, their ex noticed. Not because they were trying to be seen, but because they were living so authentically, so fully, that their light was impossible to ignore. That's the Stoic paradox. When you stop chasing someone's attention, you often become the person they can't stop thinking about, simply because you're thriving in your own way. Now, let's dive into emotional resilience, because this is the beating heart of Stoicism. Life is a roller coaster, relationships end, plans unravel, people let us down. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, knew this all too well, living through their own share of chaos and loss. Their big insight: while we can't control those external events, the breakups, the disappointments, the curveballs, we can control how we respond to them. Emotional resilience isn't about numbing yourself to pain or slapping on a fake smile to pretend everything's fine. It's about feeling your emotions fully, whether it's sadness, anger, or frustration, and taking the time to understand them. But here's the key: you don't let those feelings hijack your life. Instead, you choose how to move forward, staying steady even when the world feels shaky. It's like being a lighthouse in the middle of a stormy sea. Waves can crash, winds can howl, but you stand firm, rooted in your own strength. That's the kind of resilience Stoicism builds, and it's what allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with clarity and grace, no matter what comes your way. In relationships, this Stoic resilience is nothing short of a superpower. When you're not relying on someone else's approval to feel good about yourself, you unlock a new kind of freedom in how you love and connect. You're not clinging to a partner or friend out of fear that without them you'll fall apart, nor are you acting from a place of neediness, desperate for their validation. Instead, you choose to connect because it enriches your life, not because it's the foundation of your identity. This shift creates healthier, more balanced relationships rooted in mutual respect and genuine care, rather than dependency or obligation. You're showing up as a partner, friend, or loved one who's whole on their own, and that's powerful. And here's the best part: people are naturally drawn to this kind of strength. When you're emotionally resilient, you're not just more likable, you're more trustworthy, more inspiring, more real. Your authenticity shines through, and others can't help but be pulled toward someone who carries themselves with such grounded confidence. So, how do you actually build this resilience? It starts with self-awareness, which is like turning on a light in a room you've been stumbling around in. Take time to pause and reflect on your thoughts and emotions. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Is this reaction tied to what's happening right now, Or am I dragging old baggage, past hurts, insecurities, or fears, into this moment? Journaling is a fantastic tool for this. It's like sitting down for a heart-to-heart with yourself, giving you space to untangle your thoughts and get to the root of what's driving you. Just 5 minutes a day of writing down what you're feeling can bring incredible clarity. Another key practice is gratitude, something the Stoics championed. They believed in savoring what's right in front of you, no matter how small: a warm cup of coffee on a chilly morning, the sound of birds outside your window, or a rare moment of quiet in a hectic day. Practicing gratitude anchors you in the present, helping you let go of obsessive worries about what others think or what might happen tomorrow. These small, intentional habits build a foundation of resilience, equipping you to face life's challenges with a steady heart and a clear mind, especially in the complex world of relationships. Another powerful Stoic practice is challenging your perceptions, which is like hitting the pause button on your racing thoughts. Picture this: someone doesn't text you back, and your mind starts spiraling. They don't care about me. I must have done something wrong. It's easy to get sucked into that vortex of doubt. A Stoic, though, would take a step back and ask, is that really true? Or am I jumping to the worst possible conclusion? Maybe they're swamped with work, dealing with their own stuff, or their phone died. Maybe it's not about me at all. By questioning those knee-jerk reactions, you stop letting your emotions run wild and take back control of your inner world. It's like flipping a switch from reactive to reflective, giving you the power to choose how you interpret and respond to life's moments. Over time, these small acts of questioning build a kind of inner strength, like a muscle that gets stronger with every rep. Before you know it, you're navigating life's storms with a calm, steady confidence that nothing can shake. Now, let's zoom out and talk about what it means to live a truly meaningful life, because Stoicism isn't just about handling relationships, it's about reshaping your entire approach to existence. The Stoics, thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, were crystal clear on one thing: meaning doesn't come from chasing fleeting things like fame, wealth, or even romantic love. Those are nice, sure, but they're not the foundation of a fulfilling life. Instead, real meaning comes from living in alignment with your core values, from cultivating virtues like honesty, courage, kindness, and wisdom. It's about sitting down with yourself and asking the big questions. Who am I at my core? What do I stand for? What kind of person do I want to be when the going gets tough? And then, here's the hard part: actually living in a way that reflects those answers, even when it's inconvenient, even when the world tempts you to take the easy path. That's where the Stoic life takes root, in the daily choice to act with integrity, to show up as your best self, and to build a life that feels authentic and purposeful, no matter what's happening around you. This is where Stoicism really starts to shine, showing its true power. It's not just about grit or surviving life's challenges, it's about thriving through them, turning obstacles into opportunities to grow and live more fully. When you zero in on what truly matters to you, your values, your passions, your purpose, you stop getting sidetracked by things that don't deserve your energy. You quit obsessing over whether you're impressing the right people, racking up enough likes, or fitting into someone else's idea of success. Instead, you channel all that focus into what sets your soul on fire. Maybe it's creating something beautiful, like painting or writing. Maybe it's helping others, volunteering your time, or mentoring someone who needs a boost. Or maybe it's as simple as being fully present in your own life, savoring a quiet morning walk or a deep conversation with a friend. That sense of purpose, it's like rocket fuel for your soul, propelling you forward with a clarity and energy that makes every day feel meaningful. In relationships, this Stoic mindset transforms how you connect with others, leading to bonds that are deep, genuine, and built to last. When you're crystal clear on your own values, say, honesty, kindness, or resilience, you naturally attract people who share those principles. You stop settling for relationships that feel lopsided, draining, or like you're constantly auditioning for someone's approval.
Why?
Because you know your worth isn't tied to what someone else thinks of you. You're not scrambling to prove yourself, you're standing tall in who you are. This confidence lets you seek out connections that feel mutual, where both people show up as their best selves, lifting each other up. It's not about chasing perfection or some Hollywood romance, it's about building something real, grounded in respect and shared values. That's the kind of love or friendship that endures, not because it's flawless, but because it's authentic, rooted in two people who are committed to living with purpose and showing up fully for each other. Let's take a moment to talk about suffering, because the Stoics had some profound insights on this topic that can really shift how we navigate life's tougher moments. Life isn't always full of sunshine, rainbows, and perfect days. We lose people we love, whether through breakups, distance, or loss. We face setbacks, like missing out on a dream job or watching a carefully laid plan fall apart. Rejection stings, whether it's a friend pulling away or a romantic interest turning you down. The Stoics, thinkers like Seneca and Epictetus, didn't pretend these moments don't hurt. Instead of shying away from pain, they leaned right into it, embracing it as a natural part of being human. They saw suffering not as something to dodge at all costs, but as a powerful opportunity for growth. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every tear-soaked night is a chance to practice resilience, to dig deeper into who you are, and to emerge stronger, wiser, and more grounded. This doesn't mean you have to love pain or go looking for it. No one's saying you should chase suffering like it's a hobby. It's about recognizing that hardship is woven into the fabric of life, and you have a choice in how you face it. When you adopt a Stoic mindset, you stop seeing suffering as a roadblock that derails your happiness. Instead, you start to view it as a teacher, one that has something valuable to show you if you're willing to listen. Take a breakup, for example. It might feel like the end of the world, but it could teach you about your own inner strength, showing you that you can stand on your own. A betrayal from a friend might hurt deeply, but it could reveal the importance of setting healthy boundaries to protect your peace. Whatever the challenge, the Stoics believed you have the power to find meaning in it, to extract lessons that shape you into a more resilient, self-aware person. By reframing pain as a chance to grow, you transform those tough moments into stepping stones, each one building a stronger, more capable version of you that's ready for whatever life brings next. Let's circle back to relationships, because the Stoic approach to suffering has a profound impact on how we love and connect. When you're not afraid of pain, when you've embraced the idea that setbacks and heartaches are part of life, you unlock the ability to love more boldly. You're not holding back, tiptoeing around your feelings out of fear that you might get hurt.
Why?
Because you know, deep down, that you're strong enough to handle whatever comes your way. This isn't about being reckless or throwing caution to the wind. It's about being brave, about choosing to open your heart fully, even when there's a chance it might sting. You trust in your own resilience, in your ability to weather the storms of rejection, disappointment, or loss, and that trust gives you the courage to show up as your authentic self. That kind of vulnerability, rooted in strength, not desperation, is powerful. And let me tell you, that kind of courage, it's absolutely magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who love without fear, who live without clinging to others for their sense of worth. Think about someone who's unafraid to be real, to share their true thoughts and feelings, not because they're trying to win someone over, but because they're comfortable with who they are. They don't need to manipulate or play games to feel secure. They're steady in their own skin. That's the kind of person who leaves a lasting impression, not because they're chasing attention, but because their boldness and authenticity shine through. In relationships, this Stoic-inspired courage fosters connections that are deeper and more genuine. You're not building walls to protect yourself from potential pain. You're opening doors to meaningful bonds, trusting that you can handle the risks. Whether it's a romantic partnership, a friendship, or a family tie, this fearless approach to love creates relationships that feel alive, built on mutual trust and respect rather than insecurity or neediness. It's about loving freely, not because you're guaranteed a happy ending, but because you know you're strong enough to embrace the journey, whatever it brings. Now, let's dive into one of the most transformative Stoic ideas: letting go of control. We pour so much energy into trying to control things that are simply beyond our reach, things like the weather, other people's opinions, or the exact outcome of our hard work. It's like trying to grab a handful of wind. The harder you squeeze, the more it slips away. In relationships, this tendency shows up in a big way. We might find ourselves trying to make someone love us, miss us, or behave exactly the way we want them to. Maybe you've caught yourself crafting the perfect text, hoping it'll spark a certain response, or replaying a conversation, wishing you could make them see you differently. But here's the hard truth: you can't control how someone feels about you. You can't force them to text you back, to think about you at 2 a.m., or to prioritize you the way you hope. And the more you try to bend their emotions or actions to fit your desires, the more frustrated, anxious, and powerless you feel. Stoicism offers a way out of this cycle, and it starts with a simple but profound shift. Focus on what you can control and release your grip on what you can't. You can't dictate someone's feelings or decisions, but you can decide how you show up in the relationship. You can choose to be kind, authentic, and true to your values, whether that's through a thoughtful gesture, an honest conversation, or simply respecting their space. You can control how you respond when things don't go your way, whether you let a missed call ruin your day or choose to move forward with grace. This mindset is liberating because it redirects your energy from futile efforts to meaningful actions. Instead of exhausting yourself trying to shape someone else's heart, you're building a stronger, more centered version of yourself. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up, it means reclaiming your power to live fully in the present, free from the weight of trying to manage the unmanageable. In relationships, this creates space for connections that are genuine, not forced, allowing others to come to you naturally, drawn by the strength and peace you radiate. Stoicism offers a refreshing and empowering approach. Focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. In a world that often feels chaotic, where external circumstances can spin wildly out of reach, this philosophy becomes a lifeline. You might not be able to control whether someone agrees with you, how they react, or the unpredictable twists life throws your way. But here's the good news: you can control how you treat others, crafting your interactions with kindness and respect. You can control how you communicate, choosing your words with clarity and empathy to build bridges instead of walls. You can control how you show up in the world, stepping into each day with intention and integrity, no matter what's happening around you. And perhaps most powerfully, you can control whether you're living in a way that aligns with your deepest values, those principles that define who you are and what you stand for. This shift in focus is transformative. When you stop trying to grip the uncontrollable outcomes, other people's opinions, the future, you free yourself to live more fully in the present moment. It's like dropping a heavy backpack you've been carrying for miles. You suddenly feel lighter, more alive. I've experienced this myself. I used to obsess over whether a friend would respond to my messages or if a work project would turn out perfectly, my mind racing with what-ifs that kept me up at night. But when I embraced this Stoic idea, I started redirecting that energy. Instead of worrying about their reply, I focused on sending a thoughtful message and letting it go. Instead of stressing over the project's success, I poured my effort into doing my best and trusted the rest to unfold as it would. The result? I stopped feeling like a puppet jerked around by external forces and started enjoying the here and now, the quiet moments, the small wins, the beauty of simply being. When you let go of the need to control outcomes, you open up space for peace and presence. You stop obsessing over what might happen. Will they leave? Will I fail? And start savoring what is happening, the laughter in a conversation, the warmth of a sunny day, the satisfaction of a task well done. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care smarter, investing your energy where it counts. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic icon, put it beautifully when he wrote about focusing on your own actions rather than the chaos beyond your reach. By doing so, you build resilience, a steady core that weathers life's storms. So, take a moment today to reflect. Where are you trying to control what you can't? How can you shift that focus to what's within your power? Start small. Maybe adjust how you respond to a challenge or align one action with your values, and watch how it sets you free to live more richly in the present. This is your Stoic power. Claim it, and let it guide you to a fuller, more intentional life. This mindset is incredibly liberating. It's like taking off a heavy backpack you didn't even realize you were lugging around, one that's been weighing down your shoulders for far too long. That backpack might be filled with a constant need to control others, to shape their actions or feelings to fit your expectations. But when you let go of that burden, something magical happens. You start to see people more clearly, not as a source of validation or a mirror to reflect your worth, but as individuals with their own unique journeys, their own struggles, and their own triumphs. It's like wiping the fog off a window, revealing the world in sharper focus. This shift transforms your relationships, making them richer and more meaningful, because you're connecting from a place of authenticity rather than need. You're no longer clinging to them to fill a void. You're meeting them as equals, sharing a space of mutual respect and understanding. This freedom comes with a paradox that's almost poetic. When you stop trying to control others or manipulate situations, like desperately hoping to make someone miss you, you often become the person they can't stop thinking about. Why does this happen? Because you're living with purpose, radiating a confidence that comes from within, and exuding a joy that's contagious. I've seen this play out in my own life. There was a time when I'd bend over backwards to get a friend's attention, crafting messages to spark a response, worrying if they'd drift away. But when I embraced this Stoic mindset, I let go of that need. I focused on being my true self, pursuing my passions, speaking my truth, and finding joy in my own company. Over time, I noticed something surprising. That friend started reaching out more, drawn to the energy I was putting out into the world. It wasn't about chasing them anymore. It was about living so fully that my presence became magnetic. This liberation isn't just about others. It's about you reclaiming your power. When you stop playing the role of puppeteer, you free up mental space to invest in what truly matters: your growth, your peace, your values. Your relationships deepen because they're built on genuine interactions, not calculated moves. You start appreciating people for who they are, not what they can do for you, and that authenticity fosters bonds that feel solid and real. Plus, there's a quiet strength in letting go. People notice when you're not desperate for their approval, and that confidence can draw them closer in ways you never expected. So, take a moment to reflect. Where are you carrying that heavy backpack of control? Maybe it's in how you react to a loved one's choices or how you seek validation from others. Try setting it down today. Focus on your own path, live with purpose, and watch how it transforms your connections. This Stoic approach isn't just freeing. It's a pathway to becoming the kind of person whose presence lingers, effortlessly inspiring those around you. Let's wrap this up with a challenge that'll set you on a transformative path for the week ahead. Over the next 7 days, I invite you to incorporate just one Stoic practice into your daily life, something simple yet powerful that can start shifting how you experience the world. Maybe it's carving out 5 minutes each night to journal, reflecting on your day with honest questions like, what went well today? Where could I have acted with more wisdom or patience? Perhaps you'd prefer practicing gratitude by writing down 3 things you're thankful for each morning. Small joys like the warmth of your coffee, a kind word from a friend, or the way the sunrise painted the sky. Or maybe it's pausing before you react to something upsetting, taking a deep breath, and asking yourself, is this really worth my energy? Does this deserve my peace? Whatever practice you choose, the key is to start small and be consistent. Stoicism isn't about overnight transformation. It's about steady, intentional growth, the kind that compounds over time into a life of clarity and purpose. Pick one habit, commit to it for the week, and watch how it begins to ripple through your days, bringing you closer to that inner tranquility the Stoics prized so deeply. As you embark on this journey, I want you to hold on to a core truth. Stoicism isn't just a set of ideas to think about, it's a way of life to live fully. It's about finding peace in a chaotic world, where stress and uncertainty often feel like uninvited guests. It's about building relationships that are deep, meaningful, and rooted in mutual respect, connections that don't just fill your time but enrich your soul. And most importantly, it's about living in a way that feels true to who you are, aligned with your values, and free from the noise of external expectations. Stoicism teaches you to become a lighthouse, steady, bright, and unshaken, no matter what storms come crashing in. You'll stand firm through life's challenges, a beacon of calm and strength, radiating a quiet confidence that others can't help but notice. And when you live like that, something incredible happens. You don't just find happiness for yourself, you inspire others to find it too. Your peace becomes contagious, your courage sparks bravery in those around you, and your authenticity invites others to live more fully as themselves. That's the ripple effect of Stoicism, and it starts with the small, intentional steps you take today. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me on this deep dive into Stoicism. It's been a joy to explore these ancient ideas with you, to unpack how they can transform the way we navigate relationships and life itself. If this resonated with you, if it sparked a new perspective or a desire to live more intentionally, I'd love for you to give this video a thumbs up. It helps others find this wisdom, and it means the world to me to know it's made a difference for you. Better yet, share it with someone in your life who might need a little Stoic guidance right now. Maybe a friend who's struggling with a tough relationship or someone who could use a dose of clarity in their chaotic days. And if you're hungry for more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We've got so much more to explore together, from diving deeper into Stoic practices to uncovering other philosophies that can light up your life. For more insights to keep you inspired, check out one of the videos on the screen. I've curated a few that I think you'll love, packed with practical wisdom to keep you growing. Until next time, keep walking the Stoic path with courage and intention. This journey inward, toward understanding yourself and building a life of purpose, is where the real magic happens. It's not always easy. There will be challenges, moments of doubt, and tough choices, but every step you take brings you closer to a life that feels authentic, grounded, and deeply fulfilling. You've already taken the first step by being here, by opening your mind to these ideas, and I'm so excited to see where this path takes you. So, go out there, try your chosen Stoic practice this week, and let it guide you toward peace and growth. I'll be rooting for you every step of the way. See you in the next video, my friend. Until then, stay stoic, stay strong, and keep shining your light.